Hey everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Iyanla Fix My Life Season 4, Episode 7, which was titled Broken Reality, and it featured reality TV star Laura Govan. And if you guys remember her, she was from Basketball Wives of LA, and it was her and her sister Gloria, and Gloria was married to Matt Barnes, and Laura dated Gilbert Arenas, and I guess she was like his common law wife because they have 4 kids together. But these two have been fighting for years, and their fight has gone to social media, and the courts are involved. And I mean, they hit below the belt, they get down dirty and nasty, and they just air it out for the world on Instagram and other social media platforms. So I missed the first 5 minutes, but I don't think it really mattered. I was actually over in Tampa today at a margarita festival, and if I zone out on you guys tonight, that is the reason why. So I was rushing to get home, and I got home, like I said, the show was probably 5 or 6 minutes in. So Laura thinks that her sister Gloria had an affair with Gilbert Arenas, that they, had sex together. And Gloria, like I said, used to be married to Matt Barnes, who's another basketball player. And so Gloria, I guess she's not Gloria. Maybe I'm not going to be able to get through this recap. Laura, I guess, is upset with her parents because she says that that they never believe her. So then she brings up that when she was 13 years old, that she was molested by somebody, and they beep it out when people name these people that have molested them, and I guess they haven't brought charges against the people. And so the parents say that she said that the parents accused her of lying on this person. The mother says she doesn't remember Laura telling her that the person molested her. And then the dad says that he doesn't remember. I think he said he remembered her telling the story when she was older, but not when it actually happened. So I guess they're going back and forth. And when he says to her, "You didn't tell me that when it happened when you were 13 years old," what she's hearing is him saying that she is a liar and that nobody molested her. And so one of the things that bothered me about this show and a lot of other shows that Iyanla does is she's so quick to blame parents for everything that these adult children are going through. And yeah, your parents and how you came up does shape who you become as an adult. But I just believe at some point you got to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Girl, you are acting a pure D downright damn fool, and it is time to stop." You have to look in the mirror and say, "I have 4 kids who are looking at me, and despite what my childhood was like, I owe it to my children to give them better and to be better and to just provide them with a better lifestyle, and to just be in the public eye fighting with your kids' fathers, just wrecking cars and just all kind of craziness that they have reportedly done to each other." It doesn't make sense to be sitting there and spending the whole hour of the show blaming the dad for her acting the way that she's acting when she's a grown woman in her 30s. She knows better, and she needs to be accountable for her own actions at this point. So in it was Iyanla, the parents, and Laura, they were sitting there talking. And so Iyanla turns to the dad, and tells her that daughters generally marry or fall in love with men who are just like their dads. And so we find out that the dad is still friends with I can't remember if they said he was still friends with whoever it was that molested her, or if he's still friends with Gilbert Arenas, or if he's friends with both of these people. I wasn't clear on that. And Laura says that she thinks that the reason her parents denied the fact that she had been molested, and denied, other things that have gone on in her life, is because it's the era that they're from, where, you keep it hush hush and under the rug, and you don't talk about these type of things, but that really hurt her and caused her a lot of pain, and she believes that because they didn't believe her, or they never believe her, and they always accuse her of lying and take other people's sides, that is why she is the way that she is. So the dad obviously doesn't have time for Laura and is pretty much over her shenanigans. But Iyanla says that Laura fights the men in her lives because she has been taught that she doesn't have a voice. And so all the arguing and yelling is her trying to be heard, because growing up she was never heard by her parents. So Iyanla and the dad, they get into a back and forth when Iyanla suggests that Laura give her kids to Gilbert Arenas and stop all this fighting. So Iyanla's like, just give him the kids, and the dad was like, not over his dead body, she's not giving those kids to him. And so Iyanla counters that, her dad doesn't really have a say-so because he gave his child to Gilbert. And so if Gilbert was good enough for Laura, then he should be a good enough person to raise the kids. And so I was like, okay, that was a good one there. That was a good analogy. I'm going to give you that one. So the dad says that he told Laura that Gilbert was a piece of crap and that he wasn't worth the time of day. But instead of her listening to him, that she went and not only had one child from him, but she had 4 kids with him. So what is he supposed to say, or what is he supposed to do if she keeps going back to him and having more children from him? So then Iyanla sits down with Laura. Then Iyanla sits down with the dad alone, and so he says that Laura, is really just like he is. And he tells Iyanla that he used to be a basketball coach and that Laura was on his team, and that he was really hard on her and was always pushing her to do better and be better. And so Iyanla believes that by doing that, he taught Laura that she wasn't good enough and always needs to do better and try harder. And I'm just like, I kind of disagree with that, because parents teach, and I think I said this when we were covering that Family Alive's 3-part series. Parents teach from the place that they are with the knowledge that they have. And they do the best that they can, most parents. And to just say that the reason somebody is out acting the fool, when they're 35 years old, is a result of the way that the parent did this. If that's the case, then no parent is ever correct or did the right thing. And the way Iyanla just keeps going back to saying that, okay, well, the way you talked to her made her act this way. When you did this, it made her act that way. And when you did that, that's why she's acting like that. Like, at no point do I recall Iyanla making Laura accountable by saying, girl, you need to stop acting the fool because you're a mother now. Like, she just kept saying, like giving her a crutch to lean on. Like, okay, it's okay. Well, not really that it's okay for her to act that way, but just basically telling her, you're acting this way because of your father, not you're acting this way because you're a spoiled, rotten brat who thinks she's entitled and can go out and do these things and that there's no ramifications for them. Then they go on to a part where Iyanla asked her dad to tell the story about when he used to come home at 2 o'clock in the morning. So the dad says that he used to come home at 2 a.m. in the morning, and then he would make the girls get up out of bed because they hadn't cleaned the house or did their chores or whatever he told them to do, and that he wasn't going to be going, and then Iyanla said, well, where were you at that you were coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning? So I'm thinking like maybe the man had an affair or something, but he said that he was out working to provide for his family and that he wasn't going to be out, working hard to give them a nice home and everything, and then he come home and they haven't done, the basic things that he had told them to do. And so then Iyanla blames him again, saying that, okay, well, basically when you did that, you taught Laura, how to accept Gilbert's behavior, that, she has to cater to him and accept what he does. And I'm just like, okay, does Gloria have the same problem? Because wasn't she raised in the same house with Laura? Like, why was she not impacted by the father's behavior if he was just this poor representation to his children? So then the father asks Iyanla, if she's trying to say that all of Laura's issues are his fault. And then Iyanla says no, but it sure as hell sounded like it to me. And so, Dad, I think you were right for feeling that she was trying to blame you for everything, because that's exactly what she was doing. We had a scene with Laura and Iyanla, and they were in the kitchen mixing up a cake. And so Iyanla was putting all kinds of mess in that cake, and then Laura said that the cake smelled like shit. I was like, dang. And Laura says, but she wasn't worried about the smell of the cake, because she believed that no matter how bad the cake looked, that they were going to somehow figure out how to make it look pretty and taste good. So Iyanla lets her know that making shit look pretty is sending your kids to a private school, wearing lashes and designer clothes, and that's Laura's version of making her mess look pretty, instead of saying, hey, I need to get my kids out of this situation. I got to forget about the money that Gilbert has. I got to forget about this lifestyle that he's afforded me. I have to do what's best for my kids, and being in this environment is not what's best for them. But instead, she keeps up with the image, with the nice cars and the private schools and stuff, to kind of prove to her, her public audience that she still has it going on. And so Iyanla basically, tells her that she needs to get real. And then Laura, she says, well, if I have to remove the lashes and the clothes and get a real job, that's what I'll do. But Iyanla's like, girl, please, you need to look good for your audience that you're performing for. And then she also tells her that as long as she does that, she will always have a crappy cake. And she pushes the bowl to Laura and asks Laura, what does it mean? And then Laura looks down at the bowl, and she said that her dad taught her to always take crap from men. Okay. So we just gonna keep blaming Dad and keep blaming Dad for all this nonsense. When do adults look at themselves in the mirror and say, I can do better and I am better than this? And I'm like, Laura got to take responsibility for her actions and this journey that she's on. And I'm thinking from this day forward, she has got to stop blaming the dad. So Iyanla tells her, to get ready to go back in and talk with her parents and decide if she is going to fix the cake or keep accepting the crap that she's getting. Then Iyanla told her that when she comes back the next day, to come back looking like somebody's mother and not a reality TV star or some man's accessory. So sure enough, the next day, Laura walked in looking the same. Even though she said, I'll pull my little hair up in a bun and I'll do this and do that. She came in there looking just as cute as she was the day before, even though she did have her hair pulled up into like a little ball or something. But before that conversation was over, she had took that little band off her hair and poofed it back up, and she was looking just like she did the day before. And when Iyanla called her on it, she tells Iyanla, she needs to get something off her chest and get Iyanla straight or something. And she says that she looks like a successful businesswoman, and that for Iyanla to tell her that she needs to get a real job when she has a successful accessory line, that she was offended by that, and that she didn't feel she need to come in there looking, I guess, down and out, that what she represented was a representation of her company and who she is as a businesswoman. And then Iyanla was looking at her like, I did not tell you that you need to get a real job. And Laura was like, yes, you did. And so they were going back and forth. And then Iyanla said, okay, well, that's fine. I can pull the tape. So Laura heard her say that she needed to get a job and ready to just argue with Iyanla about it. So after Iyanla said that, she could pull the tape, then Laura wanted to argue about whether or not she was a good mother, and hearing what she wants to hear and believing what she wants to believe. And I'm just thinking that this isn't a good look for you. And then Iyanla tells her that she's hearing the crap and not her reality. And she tells her that, she's not there to offend her or to fight with her, that she's there to tell Laura the truth. And she says that real mothers don't look like a supermodel every day. Like real mothers who are tending to their kids don't have time to be getting up, you know, putting on all this makeup and all this stuff and these designer clothes and high heel shoes when you just taking the kids, you know, to the softball game or the soccer game. Like, that is really unreal. So Laura says that, you know, she hasn't said Gilbert's name in the past few months, and she thinks that he is trying to drain her of her money and cause her to lose her kids and lose the case. And then Iyanla tells her to get out of the ring with Gilbert because she really can't compete with him because he has all the money and he can have this case tied up in court, you know, as long as he has money. And so, you know, she tells Laura that, you know, you have 4 children and he's dragging you through the court system. Like, what does that say about you and him? Like, think about what this is doing to your kids. But Laura was out in left field and she was so busy trying to prove herself right that she wasn't hearing a word that Iyanla was saying. Then once again, you know, Iyanla tells her to give up the fight, you know, and lets her know that Gilbert doesn't want the kids. He just wants to take her down. And I can believe this because I used to work for the city of Tampa, and one of my coworkers used to be married to a police officer that also worked for the city of Tampa, and she left him. And so to get back at her because she wouldn't try to reconcile the marriage, he filed for full custody of the kids. And when I tell y'all, he drove that woman crazy. And I mean literally crazy to the brink where she was about to commit suicide. And so then she was considered unfit and unstable to have custody of the kids. So he wanted custody of the kids. And then she was like, fine, take the kids. And then after he got the kids, he sued her for child support for the kids, which was going to take like half of her paycheck. And she would like no way be able to live off the money that was going to be left over. And I know men have the same fight all the time with women, but this was somebody who was a great mother to her kids, who loved her kids, took care of her kids. But because she wanted out of the marriage, and I believe the marriage fell apart because he cheated on her, and because she wouldn't stay with him, he became that low down, dirty, and vindictive. But she had to understand that for her sanity and for her peace of mind, give him them kids, give him that child support. It ain't gonna last always. That the kids will eventually turn 18 and you will have your life back. And it was a tough pill for her to swallow. But once she did, you know, her life began to improve. And it's just a sad situation that people treat each other that way. But it happens, and you just have to make the decision, like, I'm going to let this destroy me or I'm going to rise above it. Now, of course, you know, Laura, you know, she comes with the tears and says that, you know, she brought her kids into this mess and she feels bad, you know, that she's hurt them, and, you know, she only wants to do right by them, and that she feels guilty and just wants the drama to be over with. Now, Iyanla is telling her that her mother taught her how to hold on. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to stop blaming the dad. Now we're going to push the blame over to the mother. But we still ain't told Laura she needs to be accountable for some of these bad decisions that she's making. So then Iyanla tells Laura that she is enough, whatever she does in life without the lashes and all the accessories. And she also called her out for trying to promote the accessories on the show. Because I think when they were sitting there talking and she was trying to, you know, prove that Iyanla had said she needed to get a real job, she went to lifting up her earrings and her necklace and stuff. And I'm just like, are you really getting ready to model your accessories on this show where you're supposed to be trying to figure out how you're going to be a better mother to your kids? But Iyanla checked her, so I was happy for that. So then they end up back with the parents, and Iyanla says that, you know, they had a breakthrough that morning. And I don't know what Iyanla considered a breakthrough. Like, maybe she is just so ready for this season to be over with after that 3-part series with the mom and them 6 kids. But I didn't see a breakthrough. Did you guys see a breakthrough? If you saw a breakthrough, leave your comments below and let me know what the breakthrough was. So then Iyanla says before they can get started, she needs to take care of one housekeeping matter. So she replayed the tape for Laura. Remember, she told Laura that she could replay the tape. Well, say she had the tape, and they were getting ready to replay it. And as I said earlier, it was Laura who said that she could do without, all this stuff and get a real job. So instead of apologizing, Laura changes the story, so she doesn't want to look like a liar and, saying that, she is in a fight for her kids and never apologized. All she had to say was, I was wrong. I misunderstood. And so while they were talking, or actually when they walked in and sat down, they had these chairs and the sofa and everything, and there was something on the floor, and there was a tablecloth over whatever it was. So I thought it was going to be a cake or something, like they had done baked that cake and then baked a good cake or whatever. But nobody seemed to pay attention to what was on the floor. They just kept on talking. And so in talking to her dad, Laura says that, she was hurt. Basically repeated everything that I said at the beginning about the molestation and about Gloria sleeping with with Gilbert Arenas and them not believing her. So we really don't need to rehash all of that. So finally, the dad is like, Laura said that she felt like she needed to be protected and he didn't protect her. So then the dad was like, okay, well, what do I need to protect you from now? Like, let's forget about the past. What do you need protection from Gilbert? Like, is that what you need right now? And so Iyanla, basically keeps telling him that he made Laura the way that she is. And I'm just like, oh my God. So then Iyanla finally tells them about the cake that they bake and, that they had made, and asked Laura to tell them what all was in the cake. And Laura was like, it was some sardines and some relish and some ketchup and flour, and it was just a whole bunch of mess, and it was so disgusting and so nasty. Then Iyanla finally says, nobody asks what's under the rug. Y'all got this big old heap standing at your feet, sitting at your feet, and nobody's acting like they saw what was down there. And so she tells them that they don't want to look under the I say a rug, but I think it was a tablecloth, that they don't want to look under it because they know that that's where the problem lies, and that they want to look at how good it looks on the surface, but there's still mess underneath. So then the father's like, okay, well, let's look under it. Let's see what it is. So they look under the rug, and it was like a bicycle, I swear it was like a hair trike or something, some clothes and other stuff. But it was just a bunch of items that make up the dysfunction and the drama that has become Laura's life. And so I guess it was like, things representing the kids, representing her, accessories and jewelry line and designer clothes and just all the stuff that she uses to cover up, the dysfunction in her life. So the show ends with the daddy saying that, he would do better. And then they got up and did like a prayer together. And the show ended and I just felt like, was the show for Laura or was the show for daddy? Because daddy, neither one of them were healed. Now, let me just say that from the beginning. But Laura, she was willing to allow Iyanla to say that the dad was the fault, was the cause of all her bad behavior. And then, making her not take accountability. And then the dad was basically like, I'm going to agree with y'all. I'm going to say whatever you want me to say so that we don't have to have this conversation again, because I'm ready for these cameras to get out this house so I can get on with my life. So, the whole prayer thing, the whole I try to do better, none of it came across as being sincere. So if the daddy is the root of Laura's issues, does that mean that Gilbert will be the root of the problems that their kids are sure to have in the future? Or will Laura ever have to take accountability for what she's contributing to the situation? So in the recap, that they run at the end of the show that lets us know where the guests are now, it says that Laura is no longer talking to her parents, imagine that, and that she isn't working towards co-parenting or coming to any type of agreement with Gilbert Arenas. Are any of us surprised? If you're surprised, leave your comment below and let me know that you are surprised, and tell me why are you surprised. Because Iyanla did nothing to make Laura be held accountable for her actions or to see where she was wrong. I think the only good thing that she told Laura was when she replayed that tape, she explained to her that she hears what she wants to hear, that she doesn't really pay attention to what's being said or what's being done, which kind of took me back to the whole thing about the molestation and about how the parents reacted when she told them that Gloria was sleeping with Gilbert, maybe they are telling the truth. Maybe she didn't tell them, or maybe the way she told them wasn't in a way that made them clearly understand what she was saying. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. Leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I shall talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.